Hello, hello. Okay, we're jumping right in today because it's going to be a hot topic for probably just most anyone who is dealing with the holidays and also a small business or hobby or some sort of a side thing you've got going on and the madness that creates. So the topic of this video today is going to be how to improve your time management when you already feel like there are not enough hours in the day. So we'll jump right in. If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Jessica and I'm the owner and operator of Roundtown Candle Co. I'm a small hand-poured soy wax candle business and I'm based out of a little town in Ohio. And it's busy season. And so I think those words are funny because I watched so many videos from other makers before I even started my business, because obviously you have to research, do your due diligence. And so I would watch these videos and I would hear candle makers talking about busy season and how crazy it is and all the work and all the things. And last year was my first year in business. I actually opened my business online September 9th of 22. And so that first, busy season felt busy to me. And I really had no idea because now I've got my brick and mortar and busy has a whole new definition. So just to give a little bit of kind of an idea of the jump that I have experienced in sales from September 9th of 2022 through this day, which is December 20th. So from September 9th of 22 to December 20th of 2022, I sold 400 items, which as a brand new online only business, I was extremely excited about that. So 400 items. That exact same period of time this year, September 9th, 2023 through today, I've sold over 1,200 items. So my business has more than tripled and I was not prepared for that at all. So when I say there are not enough hours in the day, I really mean that. Like, I have been working still my full-time job, which is nothing to do with candles. And then at the end of the day, I go home and I start into the candle side of things. And I do stop and cook dinner and, laundry and things like that. But I'm working essentially another 6 to 8 hours at home after I work my regular job. So I've been doing these like 12 to 16 hour days, 7 days a week, and I'm really exhausted. So only until like the last few days have I started to feel better. And that's because I am pretty much done with worrying about pouring, because anything I pour now won't be ready for Christmas in time for Christmas anyways. So I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, okay, I can't have anything on the shelf prior to Christmas. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a little bit of a breather and allow myself to get caught up on some sleep. And that has helped tremendously. So, and I'm looking down because I have some notes here. The consequences of not enough time in the day are brutal. Or maybe not enough time in the day. Maybe it's just working so many hours. Brutal. Either way you want to look at it, it's the same difference. So the consequences for me have been physical and mental. So on the physical side of it, I have been noticing things like my eyes are dry, or there'll be a little bloodshot, probably from staring and focusing so much and not getting enough rest, not getting enough literal shut-eye. And my shoulder blades have just been like so tired from constantly typing, pouring, moving, this and that. I'm moving around so much with my upper body and I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm not getting enough time to allow my body to rest. And so those side effects, if you want to call them side effects, have been really tough. and, you know, bags under my eyes. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of times when I look in the mirror in the morning and I'm like, I just look terrible right now. Like, it's just not been a good, it's not been a good time for me. So, but the mental has been really, really difficult. So, you know, with the mental, I'm noticing a lot of brain fog, and I can be doing something and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, did I do this part of it, or did I miss a step, or I forgot to write this down? I feel like I've been doing a lot of backtracking and double checking of myself. And sometimes I can be talking and then all of a sudden I just blank out. Not like unconscious blackout or anything, but like my train of thought just like gone. And so that's been frustrating as well, because I, you know, have to stop and then try to find my thought and where I was, because I'm all over the place and I'm tired mentally as well. So that part has been a struggle. It's also created a lot of emotional issues, if you will. I have had really high highs because my sales are amazing right now. And that just puts me to a level of excitement that is just almost too much to bear, because there are times where I cannot calm down. And of course, those times typically happen, you know, when I should finally be going to sleep. But then there's also been some really low points too, which is where I'm so tired and I feel so overwhelmed and like I'm just giving it everything I've got just to try to get caught up to where I want to be. And those times have been really tough because I find myself, you know, feeling short fused because I'm just too tired. So anyhow, that's been a whole thing. So, you know, I'm looking through this and I'm thinking to myself, I have to find good in this situation, because I'm the type of person that through anything bad, I need to find the good, because there's always something good that comes from something that's not so great. So, all right, I'm thinking already about next year, and I'm thinking, okay, now I understand. I underestimated what I was capable of doing. Number one, last year I had an online business. This year I have a brick and mortar, totally different. I should have known that the potential for me to have much larger sales was real. And I think I was so focused on what I had done last year, and I guess I just didn't feel like I was gonna be that fantastic this year. And I didn't wanna just completely overmake and then end up with all these candles on my shelf just staring at me, and then worrying about all this product and, you know, things like that. So I really, really underestimated my capabilities, the store's capabilities. So, all right, hang on. This is what I was talking about with the brain fog. So I am finding something good. There we go. Okay, so in finding something good. So I'm thinking about next year already, and I'm thinking, okay, this is great. So this year I waited too long to start prepping because I didn't think I had as much prep to do. So next year I know that I'm going to really back things up a lot. And my goal for next year, I'm making these goals to help things, you know, I'm going to anticipate more growth, and I'm going to anticipate, you guys, I'm not even kidding about this brain fog. This is why I have notes, but I don't even think this is, I think I'm already off the notes. So I'm prepping for next year. I want to start sooner. I want to make more. I want to be prepared. I want it to come down to where, like, if I have a scent that is selling out, instead of, oh my gosh, I have to hurry up and make this, and then it's got to cure, and then I got to do this, and then get it in here, and it's going to take this much time. I just want to be so prepared next year that I'll be like, oh, I'm running low on that scent. I'm going to go home and grab that box of them off the shelf and bring them in and restock. And then I'll get started on pouring so that, you know, I'll have another box when these are getting near sold out. That's my goal for next year. So not such a bad thing to go through what I'm going through right now, because it's helping me to plan for a busy next year and not have the whole season being with just complete panic and overwhelm. So that's one thing I'm gonna do. You know, improving time management, I think to me also means better organization. That's something I've already solved currently with my setup this year. So I pour out of my home. I'm sure you've seen my candle studio if you've seen some of my other videos. And honestly, boxes everywhere. Like, I always joke around about it, but I feel like with that room, I could be on an episode of Hoarders at times because it is just like, it's crazy. And I don't like that. So I have all these boxes and boxes and boxes of jars and this and that. So I bought a shelf from Lowe's, and it's decently wide and it's tall. It's got a lot of room on it. And with that shelf, I went through and I put all of my jars on there. And so that to me was a big help because getting stuff organized and off the floor just automatically helped me to feel less overwhelmed by a mess. And it helps me to feel more organized and prepared for what I was about to do. And so things like that was a huge, I mean, something so simple as a shelf was so huge, and just creating that organization really helped the way things felt as far as what I need to do and what I need to tackle. It wasn't like, where are these jars and where's that? And, you know, I'm all over the place. It was like, okay, I'm gonna do this and go for that. So that to me, improving organization was huge. And then the final thing that I want to talk about that I already have started to do, and this has been an absolute game changer for me, and I cannot stress this enough. Like, this blows me away of how impactful it was and how much I regret not doing it sooner. And it's so simple. So basically, when I decided that I was going to take, you know, a so-called day off, I was like, all right, I need to really just take a day because this is too much. But then at the same time, it's like, there's so much to do. I didn't really feel like I could take a day off. So it was a Sunday. I was at home and watching, you know, football and just hanging out and stuff like that. And I decided I want to start prepping my jars, because when I get jars, I spray them all with alcohol and wipe them out because I want a clean jar. They can get cardboard dust in them. They can get just, I mean, you know how things are. I wouldn't buy those jars and just drink out of them without washing them. So I don't want to pour a candle into them without cleaning them out either. So I spray them with alcohol, wipe them out, make sure the alcohol is completely dry, which it dries fast, and you don't douse them with it. You know, it's just a little spray. And so then I wick them, and, you know, then I pour and all that stuff. So I decided I want to go ahead and prep my jars. So I went through every single 8-ounce jar that I have, every single 4-ounce jar that I have, cleaned them out, wicked them, and then basically where the wick sticks up out of the jar, I just took the wick and kind of bent it down and curled it under the jar, and then I turned the jar upside down and put it back in the box. That way it'll stay clean, and I don't have to worry about dust or anything if it's sitting on the shelf for, you know, a week or whatever before I pour again. So every single jar is ready to go. And I cannot even tell you the difference that that has made for me when it comes to pouring candles, because I flip my melter on, go cook dinner, do whatever I need to do. Then when I come back, all I have to do, and they're on that shelf, you guys. So they're like super organized. The boxes are all marked that they're ready. So I will literally just grab a box of jars and take the jars out and set them on my table, you know, flip them up the right way, pull the wick up, put my clothespin on it. That's what I use to hold my wicks. And that is it. And then I pour. And it's the same amount of work as far as I still have to prepare the jars. It's not that like I just took something away. It's not that I've lessened my steps completely, but by doing them in a different, you know, in a different time frame, huge difference. So what happens is When I'm just sitting around and watching football or talking to my husband or my kids or doing whatever, I can clean these jars, I can do the wicks, put them back in the boxes, put them on the shelf. It's not something that requires so much of my time. It's not something that actually makes me feel like it's a big bunch of work. It's just kind of like that busy work. So then when it comes time to pour, I don't have to sit there and clean the jars and wick the jars and then put my clothespins on and then set everything up and then pour. So when I go to pour, I just put all my jars out, get them ready, and then I just go. And I'm done so much faster. Oh my goodness. It's just, sometimes it's the simplest things that you don't exactly think about right out of the gate, but when you do, it's just like mind blown, mind blown. So that makes me think, if you guys have any of those types of just tips or different ways in which you do stuff that you have found to be a big game changer for you, please let me know in the comments, because I could be missing out on something else too. Something else that's simple that would make a huge difference in the way that I operate. So yes, it's hard when you are busy and you are in the thick of it and there doesn't feel like there's enough hours in the day, and you have to make the best use you can of those hours. So being organized is helpful, and getting prepared, doing the work beforehand that can be done beforehand is so great. Now, I don't label or anything beforehand because, you don't, if you drip wax down the side of your jar and you have your label on, then you pretty much are like into a whole nother mess. So I don't go that far, but I'm doing all the prep that I can do as much as I can do beforehand. And it's helping me with being more efficient, being able to get things done in a more reasonable time and actually get some sleep. It's been awesome. So that's another thing I'm working on now. And as we get inch closer to Christmas, which we're just days away now, I'm slowing it down more, and that's helpful, but I need to think way ahead for next year, because I don't want to be in this same spot next year. I want to be a heck of a lot more prepared so that I'm not so sleep deprived, because that sleep deprivation is not good. And I don't know how I have not gotten sick to this point, knock on wood. Because there's like colds, flus, COVID, all kinds of stuff. It's that time of the year. And here I am like walking around like a zombie, just so exhausted. Everything hurts. Everything's awful feeling, and I'm like, I just feel like I'm so susceptible to any germs at all. So I've been super vigilant about my vitamins, my probiotics, all my daily regimen, drinking all my water, eating well and stuff like that. So I guess that stuff must be working, because I've made it so far. But anyhow, so yeah, I can't make more hours in the day, but if I can be smarter about what I do with those hours, it will absolutely make a difference. And the same can go for you guys, no matter whether you're a candle business or just life or whatever. Sometimes it's so simple as just restructuring your day to make it feel a whole lot different. So that's what I have for today. And yes, I've made it, we've made it, and wow, what a year it's been. I can't believe my sales have tripled since the same time frame last year. What an incredible achievement. And that's just like, it's unreal. And I'm definitely gonna go deeper into that on my next video, because my next video, I am going to really go into some of the numbers and different things like that, and talk about why I've been able to make it to where I am and how you guys can do the same. So, all right, that's it. I'm out of here. I hope you guys have such a Merry Christmas, and I will talk to you soon. See you guys.